ULTRAKILL, a game faster than Doom, and also a lot like Doom, because both have health. Okay, while they might be similar in some areas, they tend to be actually pretty different styles of first-person shooters. Doom has you manage several weapons, ammos, and abilities with big open levels and a lot of environmental stuff you can use, while ULTRAKILL is more linear and fast, where you manage your health while trying to keep a style meter up by doing combos and sick moves. ULTRAKILL makes you fragile like a stick, but move at the speed of light, while in Doom, you are as thick as a brick wall. From the start, the game tells you its most important mechanic. Blood is fuel. You only get 100 health, no shields, and usually overheal is once every couple levels and is in a secret area. So, how do you heal then? You kill. Anytime you kill or do damage to an enemy in close range, you absorb their blood and heal. Because you see, a couple hundred years ago, humanity used to always be at war, and they made robots to fight in these wars. You, specifically, are V1, a nimble but fragile robot that absorbs the blood of its enemies to keep running. This keeps you self-sustainable. The more you kill, the longer you run. This encourages an aggressive playstyle. You can't pussyfoot around. If you want to live, you need to kill. And that is the name of the game in ULTRAKILL. Literally and figuratively. And you get to kill with many weapons. You get a revolver with a charged shot that can pierce through enemies, a shotgun with a big explosion shot, a nail gun with a nail, and a fucking rail cannon. Each of these weapons also get alternate modes. The revolver lets you shoot a coin instead of enemies, the shotgun gets pumped until it explodes, and the nail gun gets better. All of this is used with the various other abilities to make a crack-filled, action-packed, PS1-looking shooter. Humanity is dead, blood is fuel, hell is full. The first things you read when you start this game, and from there, you're in. Seconds after you grab your gun, the action starts, and we start on the gates of hell and must descend further. Along this journey, you'll encounter quite a few enemies, and there is a lot of enemies, so let's quickly run through this. Filth. Basic enemy, easy to kill, but if too many gang up on you, it can be overwhelming.
If you're an idiot!
Stray. Another basic enemy, attacks from a distance, and easy to parry practice. Gross. Beep beep boop boop, has flamethrower, shoot for back to boom. Wait, what? Gun. Stalker anomaly. Flying robot, teleports, has death beam. Laser beams from the sky! Now, ULTRAKILL being level-based and having several different layers or worlds, if we're thinking Mario terms, has a boss at the end of each layer. And each boss in this game is absolutely amazing. The first boss you'll encounter is the Malicious Face, a slow but hard-hitting enemy that shoots several projectiles at you or one large laser beam. This boss has a sizable health pool, and after defeating it here, will show up as a common enemy in later levels. I absolutely love when games do this. And despite it being a boss now, it is a pretty easy enemy to fell if you know the right combos later in the game. The next boss you meet, and the first technical boss you meet, is Blade Machine. You see this guy through the level swinging away at other hell residents as you yourself process through the level. As you get closer to the end, you see him more and more frequently. The boss will teach you to parry. It has a very big parry window, and once you parry, he will go into a temporary aggro state. And after you beat him the first time, you get your second weapon, the shotgun, from what you use to then proceed through the rest of the level, and you fight him again, this time in a harder state. Since he no longer has a shotgun, he has new moves with his sword and attacks quicker. Again, this being the first significant boss, where you have to memorize his movesets and his patterns so you can successfully fight him off. The final boss in the final level of Hell is Cerberus. Wait a minute, that's not a dog. And, like the malicious face, Cerberus becomes an uncommon enemy later in the game. Again, I absolutely love when games do this. Like the face, Cerberus is slower and has predictable attacks that you can easily dodge out of, but hits hard if you don't. And if you know the right combos and can style on them enough, they're a pretty easy enemy to fell. After fighting your way through the first layer of Hell, Limbo, you meet the next boss, the Hideous Mask. A giant stationary boss that relies on heavy melee attacks, but a majority of its body is covered in armor plates that your weapons cannot penetrate. So, despite being a stationary boss, this boss requires you to constantly be moving around the arena to either aim at its back or other parts of it that are exposed so you can do damage. And it will try to counteract this mobility you have to have by grappling you with a hook which you have to shoot to let go of. And if you stay grappled, it will hit you with a strong melee attack. Like most bosses in video games, this boss is great because it challenges the way you play the game. You have to be more careful with your aim, you have to be constantly moving and aware of the one attack it does that keeps you from moving. And then after beating the Hideous Mask, you have Claire de Lune. It's oddly somber, with no enemies and no really intense music at all. You find a door with 3 pedestals for skulls, so you go looking around and you find the 3 skulls to unlock the door. Also, you can just shoot the glass and bypass the skulls entirely. I absolutely love this. But eventually you either find the 3 skulls or shoot the glass, and you enter the arena. V2. You already know you are not the only robot created, but never have you seen something this similar to you. You get a quick sneak peek at them at first if you are collecting the skulls, but you've never seen this robot anywhere else in the game. Now you see, while V1 was built to be nimble and could absorb blood to fuel itself, V2 was built to be tough. Being very similar to your own design, it has the same arsenal as you. A charged revolver, coins, exploding shotgun, etc. And it doesn't play kind either. Unlike other bosses, it isn't big and slow with predictable attacks that hit hard. It's fast and aggressive. And it constantly plays with you. If you play too far away, V2 will constantly close the gap. And if you play too close, V2 will distance itself from you. It is a constant dance between you and V2 being very similar in style, and it's like a duel. You see what I did there with like the name of the song when you fight? I'm gonna leave. Speaking of music though, the music in this game slaps. Especially for the V2 fight. It starts with this slow western riff until... And then the second time you fight V2, yes, you fight V2 again. Spoilers, I guess. If you were expecting to watch this video and not be spoiler-free, you were sorely mistaken. But when you fight V2 again, the music feels more final than the original. A versus is a challenge between 2 people, while only one gets to live in a duel. They got away from you once, but not again. Lust. Sex, idolatry, boobies, pee-pee, sleeping with other people. Lust is one of the 7 deadly sins and usually relates to all those things. It is also the next layer in Ultrakill. Now, this is where I want to give you a small history lesson, a more history lesson in Ultrakill. But I want to give you a small history lesson on the layer of lust. You see, when humanity all decided to be no more alive, God decided to peace out, leaving only the angels. And hell. Now, there was a king, King Minos, the king of hell, who decided, hey, it kind of sucks being in hell. So he started a revolution. A revolution that was quickly put down by Gabriel the Archangel. Gabriel beat Minos' ass, ripped his soul from his body, leaving his body to shamble around the layer of lust forever, and threw his soul in a little flesh prison. And then decided to rule over the rest of hell. And that is the history lesson of lust, and a small lore part on Ultrakill. I'm not gonna go too much into the lore, mainly because I don't know all of it, and it's like one of those games where like Ultrakill gameplay versus Ultrakill lore, you've seen the memes. But lust has gotta be by far one of my favorite layers. Everything from the lights to the music to the just whole city design, I absolutely love. It is also really well designed, and its final boss is amazing. You fight the body of King Minos, a giant shambling body that lost its soul. And it is one of those bosses where it is bigger than the level itself. And I absolutely love those kind of bosses. It is a pretty easy boss to hit, it's got a lot of space, but it throws massive punches at you that you can parry. And so you can't go back and forth from the rest of the level, dodging its punches easily, it throws a black hole at you that slowly always tracks you. If that black hole hits you, you are stuck at 1 health. This by far is just a really cool boss fight, aesthetically and just boss fight wise. It is not one of the best, it can get a bit boring, but I really do like it, fighting a giant shambling body. And on the topic of Minos, you can fight Minos Prime, which is the soul of Minos trapped in the flesh prison. But I more want to use this opportunity to talk about the secret levels of Ultrakill. Ultrakill has many secret levels, 1 secret level for every layer of hell. And you can unlock these levels many various ways, all of them unique and creative, and I really like it. The first one is pretty simple. You find a skull in a fallen vent shaft, and you put that skull on a podium, boom, secret level. So, what did they decide to do for the first secret level probably every person, including myself, was going to find? They turned this action-packed, blood-pumping first-person shooter into a fucking horror game. The first level is absolutely terrifying, and you have to run away from this thing called Something Wicked. And something that is incredible is that this Something Wicked gets teased on in later levels, but we'll get into this soon. The second layer, Layer of Lust, the secret level there is just a puzzle game that I expertly solved, being an amazing puzzle solver myself. And the third secret level is a dating existential crisis therapy simulator, where you can date this robot. They also made a body pillow of it. The fourth secret layer is Minos Prime, a secret boss fight that if you perfect every level in the prelude and all of Act 1, you get to fight Minos Prime. First, you have to break him out of his flesh prison, which is a pretty cool boss. It's just more of an aim trainer since you have to shoot all of these eyeballs, because if you don't quick enough, the boss will heal off of them, because I love bosses with healing mechanics. And then you fight Minos Prime, a boss I have yet to beat. He's actually kind of hard, and the friend who got me into this game in the first place, the main critic and philosopher Epic Gamer 420, he is relentlessly mocking me for it. But then you have the last secret level currently available, the layer of Greed. Greed just turns Ultrakill into Banjo-Kazooie. But it's not just secret levels Ultrakill has. Ultrakill has several different secrets. These orbs you can collect to absolutely perfect complete a level, along with challenges that if you complete this challenge, it's just a special bonus. All of these challenges are really interesting and unique and make you go out of your way to try to solve the level, including this one for the Layer of Greed, where you have to beat the whole level, which is baked in darkness, without picking up the torch in the beginning. Now this requires you to use the explosion shot on your shotgun a lot, or parry project your shotgun. And they do a little funny thing, where because people usually trying to get this challenge done, a pretty difficult challenge to start off with, have probably completed most of the secret levels already. And what they do here is they tease something wicked. As you're walking down a dark hallway, you will hear the sound effect for something wicked. Now, probably terrified that it has joined you in a common level, you back up, and they say JK. But, as you complete this level, you realize you will not be able to reach the end because you need the torch to activate this podium. So you go searching around, and you encounter another secret boss. A secret boss voiced by 2 YouTubers, and it is incredibly funny. I absolutely love this boss. It has several health bars, a couple attacks, and is kinda challenging. But once you beat it, you grab the skull and complete the rest of the level. I absolutely love this game. It knows when to take itself seriously and when not to. It knows when to splurge and when to be a serious first-person shooter. But that also takes us back to the layer of Gluttony. Gluttony is the final layer of Act 1 and only has 2 levels. The first level is your standard level. You just process through. The only unique thing about it is this is where the special P rank door is, where if you want to fight Minos Prime, you have to unlock. But the second level is a boss fight. A boss fight for Gabriel the Archangel.
Behold, the power of an angel! Your crime is existence. No! You insignificant fuck! No! And we are only right! What? Make your woes clean made and your days few.
Gabriel the Archangel is the angel watching over hell. He was also the one that kicked King Minos' ass. While you process through the level, he will yell at you not to proceed further, that your mission must end here. But you are stubborn and a robot, so you do not listen to orders. So, you confront Gabriel the Archangel. And this boss fight fucking slaps. It is amazing, from the scenery to the music to the dialogue. The voice actors in this game, there are like 2 characters that speak, except for like the secret boss. But Minos Prime and Gabriel are the only characters with voice lines, and whoever voice acts them, they are absolutely amazing. I will probably continuously throw in Gabriel's voice line,
You insignificant fuck!
because it's just so well delivered. The shout at the beginning, it is so cool. And then you realize you can just cheese the rest of the boss fight by sliding in circles around the arena, making him pretty easy to defeat. But still, for a first-time experience, a first-time player, it is really, really cool. Especially since you best the
Insignificant fuck!
And after you beat Gabriel, you get a small, still cinematic where you see Gabriel defeated, surrounded by a council, who says he is going to lose his heavenly powers within 24 hours. He has that amount of time to rectify it. And by the name of Act 2, I can't wait till we fight him again. Then finally, you got Greed. I already talked about the layer of Greed when I talked about V2 and how you fight them while sliding down a pyramid, and if you do not think that is cool, I think you need to get checked, because it is absolutely amazing, especially after you see the text saying, "You're not getting away this time." I love it, absolutely. But Greed, for the most part, is a pretty interesting level. It has the secret boss I mentioned, and it gives a new mechanic, where the mechanic strips away the one thing you have been used to. The only way you heal is by damaging enemies at close range since they bleed. but the little stalker enemies here will prevent that from happening. This layer is especially fun to try to P-rank. But Ultrakill is a mix of so many things. It is a game of passion. There is passion behind this project. It knows when to be a serious and complex first-person shooter while being able to throw in jokes and humor without ruining the experience. It has got a story it's trying to tell and an art style that shines. It is amazingly fun to play and feels really cool to master. If you haven't, buy Ultrakill. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.